If you're currently unhappy with your health, if you've tried everything with no success, take control with CE Squared. Hi, I'm Bob Davies, founder of Controlled Eating for Excellence. Today, I'm going to talk about a principle that can be immediately helpful to you. So here it is. You ready? No problem is so bad that I can't make it worse. Now think about this. Think about a stressful circumstance. What you're looking to do with this philosophy that I'm going to share with you today, what you're looking to do is to create some space before you respond. Something happens, that's your stimulus. You're looking for a delay, a space before your response. So one of the great things to do is, no problem is so bad that I can't make it worse. Where did I get this from? I got this from Chris Hadfield. Chris Hadfield is a Canadian astronaut, and you can YouTube him and see a video on this. But he was on a spacewalk. Think about that, a spacewalk, and there was an irritant. His eye was getting irritated by the cleanser that they used inside of the spacesuit for his shield, and he got a tear that developed in his eye, and it got bigger and bigger, and there's no gravity, so he was blind in one eye, and then it started to migrate across the bridge of his nose, and then it went into his other eye. Here he is, blind, on a spacewalk. And his motto is, no problem is so bad that I can't make it worse. And he had trained for this. And I think about this, and this is a great way to create some space here, because you diffuse the circumstance. And so I'm going to give you another skill. What happens is you get what's called amygdala hijack. Now that'll be the source of another vlog that I'll do. But anyway, so here's something, a direct practical application, and then I'm going to give you one emotional regulation technique that you can use immediately that will definitely relieve some of the stress that you have as you reframe this. So I have a renter in a property, and the renter did some work for me in my own residence, and I was going to pay him for that, and I was going to take it off of the rent. He was going to debit it out of the rent, but it wasn't going as I had planned for it to go, and he was being very blind about this. I mean, I kept asking for an invoice. I kept asking for what the charges are going to be. Now I know, let's not make this a part of the vlog about separating a renter from a handyman or somebody doing services. Should be separate, shouldn't be the same person, but let's put that aside. All of a sudden I get a rent check for the month that is $700 short. All right, the amygdala, the limbic area of the brain, gets hijacked. All of a sudden I am just emotional, and I'm just angry, and I want to lash out. Where's the invoice? It's just nothing. It's just $700 short. Where's the invoice? Nothing is there. And okay, I want to create space before I respond to this. How do I do it? First thought is, no problem is so bad that I can't make it worse. Well, something bad could happen. He can get hurt on the property. He can decide he's going to leave. He can trash the property. Now I've got a couple months where I'm going to be losing revenue, so no problem is so bad that I can't make it worse. And here's the most spectacular thought intervention that you can use immediately. It's called grateful flow. Let me show you this. And so here is a dark cloud, and you are under this dark cloud. All this bad stuff is happening to you. You've got all these stressful circumstances. Well, grateful flow, what grateful flow does is, if you just stop and you have an intervention that says, no problem is so bad I can't make it worse, you know you're going to create space, and if you just stop and if you think about what you're grateful for, think about what you have to appreciate. In today's circumstances, what you do is you just cut right through this cloud, and you give yourself direct access to the positive sunshine that's through to the other side of that overcast and that direct cloud. And so grateful flow means you stop and you start to focus on what do you appreciate, what are you grateful for. And I'm telling you that you can't get an image of what you're grateful for and what you appreciate without accessing a different area of your brain. More specifically, you're going to be accessing the hippocampus in an area of the limbic system called the septum, but that's not really that important. But the septum is in opposition to the amygdala. In other words, the amygdala is your emotional arousal, your anger. The septum creates a whole new physiology, a whole new chemistry in the brain, and you do that through your thinking. And so I start thinking about positive things, what I'm grateful for, what I love, and immediately it shuts down the negative response. It shuts down the emotional response. One more example. I can remember that I was doing some work with a speakers bureau who booked me to speak for a client, and the clients paid the bureau, and the speaker bureau is due to pay me after the event, and they stiffed me on the payment. They didn't pay me. Now, I had it reframed. I thought I had applied cognitive approaches to this in such a way that I wouldn't be upset about this, but I thought I had it handled. And then one night I wake up and I'm mad. I wake up in the middle of the night. I can't get back to sleep. I have great anxiety. This is called amygdala hijack. The limbic area of the brain is hijacking my mindset. What did I do? No problem is so bad that I can't make it worse. And grateful flow. And I started thinking right there in the middle of the night, what am I grateful for? Shuts down. You can't shift your thoughts without inhibiting different area of the brain. It shuts down the emotional response, and I go into this grateful flow. It stopped it, blew me away. I went right back to sleep. So that's our thought for today. And once and all, now here's what our program is. This is a step-by-step system that's based on neurological science, and it harvests the best practice of business people and the self-control skills that have worked in other areas of your life. Now you can apply them to your health more specifically. So click the link below to discover more. Put a like on this, share it with other people, send them the URL to the video, and let's stay connected. There's a lot more to come. Thank you so much.